Hey, yo, what's up, guys? Okay, here's the deal. Some things have changed here. Okay, first of all, I'll talk about my dosing because this tank I've been using, App Complete, and then next time I got App Zero, well, then I realized that I probably was low in nitrate, so I got another App Complete and just mixed it with the App Zero. So it's kind of like an App 50/50, but so it had like a little bit less nitrates and phosphates, but come to find out, I've been underdosing my tank. That's why my buse always look like crap. So you guys ever notice my buse always looks like crap? It has holes in it. Sometimes my certain crypts do. Here's some more buse. Look at that. Alright, see the holes? I was thinking like of potassium. I started adding potassium, but I have been lacking phosphate in this tank, and I never would have thought that. But I was starting to get just a little more green dot algae on the glass. So come to find out, that's probably why I'm getting holes in some of the crypts, which will show the farm tank. The farm tank's changed too. But on the farm tank, let's see, there it is. Okay. You guys have noticed before that my Rosen Maidens and stuff, sometimes they have, you see those little holes? Those little tiny dots? It just looks like it's eating itself. Well, I just thought potassium. I started adding extra potassium, which, by the way, I bought Seachem potassium, and come to find out from RotalaButterfly.com nutrient calculator, to add sufficient amount for EI daily, you need to add like 24 milligrams of it for EI, just for a daily dose of EI worth of potassium, or the phosphate, because I got the Seachem phosphate too, and I started adding like a capful a day. So dosing instructions on apps say for my tank, for my size, 3 milliliters a day or 7 milliliters every couple of days. Well, come to find out, for true EI levels by the Rotala Butterfly site, I need way more than that of phosphate, potassium, a couple certain things like that. I didn't consider this tank. Okay, remember this wood was over here, and it was mostly just moss and buse, mostly, and some crypts. I didn't really consider this like heavily planted. I wouldn't have thought heavy planted. I was thinking lightly planted, kind of medium-ish, maybe. Oh, look, he came out. But I was thinking like, it's lightly planted, not heavy. And I used to always dose lightly, but I used to also use dirt. So before I moved to this location, when we moved here, I set this up, and this has an under-gravel filter plate built on cat litter. That one's built on cat litter also, and they were both sand. But now I've siphoned all the sand off the top and completely skinned the sand off of both of them and filled them with Amazonia. This one has original Amazonia mostly in the back, and then I think Amazonia 2 is in this one, in the front half of this one. And there's certain spots where I needed a little filler and I didn't have any, and I did put like down in there, there's a little bit of like black in there. That's Tropica powder. But I didn't use dirt this time, so this tank has no layer of dirt in it. My last tank was like real high with cat litter, then it had a layer of garden soil that I use, like potting soil, and then it had like the aqua soil on top. And all my tanks had that, always. But this time after I moved, oh, look at this, all my wild shrimp, my little wild shrimp that are so random. Look at this red one that came out of them. That's pretty red for like a wild color. But I didn't have dirt for the first time ever. So maybe that is why I used to didn't get holes in things and I do now. So, but what I've been doing lately is, this one said 3 milliliters a day. I put it in a pump bottle instead. I've been doing 3 pumps a day. A pump is 2 milliliters. So I'm double dosing this tank. It's like I'm giving this tank 3 pumps a day of Apt, and I'm giving this tank a day 4 pumps a day of Thrive. So imagine 4 pumps, which is 2 milliliters. So for a 500 milliliter bottle, it's gonna last for a while still, but I mean, between both tanks, I'm gonna run out sooner or later. I'm probably gonna go on to dry salt soon, so that I can dose a lot more, because even with 3 pumps a day of Apt, 4 pumps a day of Thrive, I'm still lacking in potassium and phosphate. I've always been scared. I've never been scared of potassium, but I've always been scared of phosphate, because phosphate was always the one like, oh no, add too much phosphate, you're gonna get algae. Everybody's always talks about that's how you get algae. But apparently that's why I was getting algae, why I was getting holes in certain things. If my growth would have been better, busting out all over the place like it used to be, I wouldn't be getting so much. And I don't mind a little BBA on the wood, that's fine. But I don't want like this. See that little bit of BBA on that leaf? Little bit of BBA on the edge of this leaf? That means that leaf is not doing super great like it should be. This tiny little bit of BBA on the end of this quin here. I mean, sure, that's a random spot to put a quin. And I have messed up in here before and messed around and moved a plant while the lights were on, so you know that blows dust over here and that puts algae on stuff. I have done that a little bit here and there, but I try not to. But anyways, so TLDR, I haven't been dosing enough. Like, I just got this crypt, and if it'll focus, it's getting those holes already. It starts off light like that, like you can barely see it, but if you notice it, if you take notice of it, it's there. That's a chordata or something. So anyways, overall my growth is okay, but I did rearrange some things in here a little bit. This one, I chopped those Rotalas down from the back, the Rotala colorata, and then I made a little bunch of colorata here, and I put the Rotala green here. It grew out a little bit and I mowed it down. Now this is Rotala blood red, and I put them across here. This is Bacopa caroliniana. This is Salzmani purple, the Singapore version, the newer one that's out right now. Behind it there's one stem of green, and then there's a couple stems of colorata. So, I think it's Bacopa colorata, which is like the kind of pinkish one or something. So we'll see how that does. Those are my old original crypts that I always had. These are the few immersed ones that I got, and then some of these are like this guy. He's eating that leaf on that gecko because it has a touch of BBA on it, because it's not doing that good. It's not the animals eating my plants either. But this confused me for a long time. I was thinking little crayfish. I was like, are you eating my plants? Are you the one eating them? But it wasn't him. I started really thinking, like, are the plecos munching them? Like, what's going on here? So anyways, I mowed this area down over here and rearranged it. I pulled out some of these big packs of Buse that I had that were seriously super full of holes, and I picked most all of the leaves off of them. I sprayed them with some peroxide and put them back in and see if they can recover. I think they were to the point where they couldn't really recover because they had so many leaves with holes that they were just weak. So maybe I've removed enough. Right here, I spent a long time working in the tank today with the water level down. So even though I sprayed these guys a few times, that little blackened edge look on them, I don't know if they'll melt or recover, the tops, but that's from being out of water, because when the water level was down to here, most of the tank was fine, but from out of the water level, most plants lay down, but these Ludwigias and stuff right here, they don't lay down. They will just stick straight up out of the water. So while we're at it here, I'll show my immersed cup that I've got. I know this video is long and boring, and sometimes mine are, but this is a little more packed full of information today than usual. It's just some aqua soil with a little bit of Osmocote balls at the bottom. It'll run itself out of nutrients soon, but I leave it uncovered for a couple hours a day, and then sometimes more if I forget. I'll give it a little spray. I got some tank water. I'm having this on it right now, this cup. I just found out this cup fits perfectly on it. But before, I had it in this little Ziploc bag over here. And I would just put the bag over it and zip it up. Then I would open it up and take it off to air it out. I'm sorry, I might not even be showing on camera half of the stuff I'm talking about. I'm not used to filming a lot, really. A lot of stuff. I'm used to just zooming onto the tank and just talking about it, but this is tank water here. And then today I put like 2 pumps of Thrive on it, so because you know when I spray this, a little bit of nutrients. This Chihiros, this WRGB2, both of them are RGB2. This one was higher, the legs were up to here because they were flipped. Well, I took them out today and did them like this one, only on the bottom rim of them, this part sticks down more, and on the other side is up more. So the light is kind of sort of slanted, tilted to the, like I lifted it this way a little bit. Like the light is, I guess you could say, like I'm pulling the light more forward, and it's kind of tipped a little more towards the back. So it's not quite as blinding when you're sitting on the couch. Plus, one thing about your light tilted forward a little bit, which another way, if you stuck something under here, it would, you know, tilt it like that, but I didn't want to do that. But I just realized that I could unscrew this and lift one side a little higher and tighten it, and then lower one side. If you slightly tilt it like that, it's kind of like having the shades without buying them, but also you can pull the light forward a little bit, have it tilted back a little, and have your stem plants kind of grow a little more towards you. The tops of your stems like kind of coming towards you a little more, you know, like this, like these guys, they're kind of coming this way. So the farm tank is way different. I've rearranged a lot of it. For one thing, every time I do a water change, this piece of wood will lay down, and when I fill it back up, it will come back up, but I didn't like that, so when it laid down this time, I made sure the plants had clearance, and I put a little rock right there. I put a little lava rock and stuck some moss on it, and I put a little rock under the corner edge right here. So the layout in here is a little bit different. I think I might have showed this on the last video, but I'm not sure. Those are Aromaticas. These are Aromatica minis. These are Singananthus Lago Grande. Yeah, that's what they're called. More peacock moss. More of my Crypt Winty bronze right here. And I'm not sure what this one, I think that one was supposed to be a gecko, but I'm not sure if it's really going to get colored up like that or not. Some Cryptalbetas everywhere. There's some Rotala Florida and some more flamingos. Of course, I got them everywhere. These guys, the Ariel Quins, are doing a lot better now. I thought they were doing okay before, but come to find out, when you touch them, they're supposed to feel hard and spiky like air plants. They didn't, they were soft. So they were malnourished, but ever since I've been double dosing, they're a lot better. And this guy, look at it. It's like a star now, like a weed plant. Like it's like all the way shaped out. And you can even see the child plants getting started on the front right there. See the little child plant? So it's about to make a baby, and it's starting to get bigger. It's starting to get the little fan marks, like the folds. The right side's not quite as recovered, but I mean, look at that. Now you can see like a touch of staghorn on the tip of this quin. The quins aren't perfect, but I mean, look at that. They look a lot better, and they got their ridges. Got their ridge pattern back. You can see here the Rotala sunsets. So this Blixa Novu, it's not the most maybe super healthy. Okay, like you see a little bit of algae on some of the leaves, but I haven't really got it quite down yet. But so we got the little Tonina lotus blossoms here. They're kind of hiding. I need to clip this, or just probably just remove it, because it's kind of in the way here, this Juncus repens grass. But I really like Juncus repens. So a friend of mine that I trade plants with, he gave me some different types of mosses, so it's pretty nice. I'm not even sure what kind that is. I'm not sure what kind most of them are. Here's some Rotala Florida. Finally perked up, doing good. You can see one's getting big and tall. A little bit more of the Bacopa Salzmani Singapore purple. Most people call it Bacopa purple or SP purple. You can see I still haven't mastered, well, I don't know, maybe the newer leaves are good, but the old leaves are still really bad on these guys, on the Reinekes. So I don't remember the name of this plant here. They're nice. Some Saturnum Mini. No, that's Saturnum Mini red right there. That Saturnum red or something. Or is that Mica? No, that might be the Mica fluvitalis or whatever it's called. I don't know. Some of these plants I got like in a group from a friend more recently, and I actually, for the first time in a long time, I've got some plants I'm not even sure what the names are. So I know the camera, the light is very obscured because there's a lot of blue light in my LED. So whenever there's a lot of blue light, it sort of gives this like halo to the tank and discolors it. But it doesn't look quite this, like, I don't know how you describe it, like this looks weird on camera, but in real life it doesn't look like that. It's not, I don't know, something about the way the camera focuses that, like, this guy's really red, but this is darker. Like, it looks more washed out on camera. They both do. It looks super artificial. Like fake plants. But anyways, the biggest difference is, besides moving things around a lot and rearranging some things, biggest difference is double dosing. And probably gonna start doing salts now soon, where I have to mix my own ferts, because I mean, I'm gonna have to. That way I can add enough of whatever I want to it and not be lacking in something. I can just do it in the mix. This is going to be more like before when I had the V shape. You can see the little Bacopas are going to be popping up right here. The Rotalas are going to be forming that little mountain up right there, spilling down over here. These are just some flamingos converting. Not sure if that's what's going to stay there, but They might. I'm kind of been known to have a flamingo carpet for no reason. I've trimmed up the Glosso and transplanted some of it in different spots to get it spreading more. And the Rotala Mexicana Goyas, I've got the Rotala Goyas, like a few here and there everywhere to mix in, kind of for a mixed in carpet. And okay, that's about it. I know this was a long, boring video, but I mean, I just wanted to explain like everything that I could possibly explain, and really had to explain the whole thing with the ferts. I just I got a hurt shoulder and I've been off of work for a couple of weeks, so it's been hard to work in the tanks. Can't use my right arm as much, but it's getting a lot better now. But it's a good thing I'm left-handed for trimming and stuff. But I've done some rearranging and some different things, and I've gotten to just sit around and stare at the tank and look at it and plan. Try to plan out what I want to do and kind of get a better vision. I know this tank would look better if this Nova wasn't blasted right in the middle of it. Like, I don't like things being too centered, and it looks kind of centered in the middle like it needs to be. I don't know, it looks like it needs to be back there more or something. It's just huge, but maybe I could pull it out and split it, because some of the older leaves on the outside aren't really super healthy anyways. But yeah, that's what's going on. So 20-minute video. It's been a while since I made a video this long, but had a lot of things happened and changed and stuff to talk about. And I just had trimmed and rearranged and done everything to both tanks. So this is probably the most well put together that they're both gonna look for a long time. Even though the camera kind of messes them up, it just looks too bright. So that's it, till next time.